Hello and welcome back, everyone. And isn't that a interesting transition from fireplace.ogg straight to fireplace.ogg? That was a fairly seamless transition. Alright, let's get everything started up here. Hello, Gabriel. I'm doing pretty good. Alright, let's see. We have left off at chapter 3. Right, yeah, when Bryce had just phoned us about having a barbecue and we were calling Bryce out on being suspicious. Guest of honor, not suspicious at all. Dragon barbecue. Alright, so this is the date already, it seems. So, first of all, we will be going with Bryce. And I don't believe we have anyone else in particular. Oh, we do have Katsuharu. He does actually have a Bryce moment. Which is actually kind of good, now that I think about it. Alright, let's go see Bryce. And probably Katsuharu afterwards. Who is that? Katsuharu. Let me just go back to the main menu. Don't worry, no progress is being lost. Katsuharu is this guy. Alright, so we're meeting with Bryce. We're going to the barbecue. There you are, Cabbage. So it turns, yeah, we've seen this before. No, don't skip ahead. Seems like you are the last one. I thought I was on time. Oh, you are. It's just that everyone always gets excited about this, and they came a little early. I thought it was strange how late you're holding this get-together anyways. It's simple, really. Now we get the beach all to ourselves. Before you can go and meet the others, I should probably warn you. What is it? There's someone here that you may not approve of. And who would that be? Maverick. Why is he here? All things considered, I think it's better for him to be here, where I can watch him. Then if he's out there doing who knows what, you know what I mean? Besides, if I invited you and not him, I'm not sure how he would have reacted. He's always come to my barbecues before, plus maybe if I talk to him, I can find out what he's up to. Does he know that I'm here? Yes, and he assured me that he will keep the peace. Can you do the same? Sure. Thanks, I appreciate it. Let's just hope there won't be any accidents. Accidents. From suspicious barbecue and guest of honor to accidents. Alright, let's go and meet the others. As we walked a few paces, I saw some familiar faces. Usually there'd be more people here, but with everything else that's going on, some of the others at the department couldn't get any time off. Hey everyone, guess who's finally here? You may remember Zhang, the waiter at the bar. Hello, Cabbage. Hey. Alright, and are we gonna answer, is that you, Sebastian? Or are we gonna recognize him, hey, Sebastian? You wanna say, hey, Sebastian? Recognize him? Alright. Is anyone else here? I'm wondering if Doppel is here and he can't answer. He did say that he was sneaking on his phone while at work. Alright, so for now, I believe the audience is going to be pretty small, possibly until a little bit, so we're gonna go with Hey Sebastian, as Gabriel said. Hey, Cabbage. Alright, fair enough, Doppel. Maverick is, well, he's just there not saying anything. Oh, okay, never mind. Hey, Cabbage. And I don't think we're gonna have to antagonize him. Did Bryce tell you to be nice to me? I'm a little bit curious about that option now, though, but we're gonna say, hey, Maverick. And of course, he just leaves, not saying anything this time. Alright, let's get this barbecue started. I don't see a grill or anything here. Where's the firewood? You see that pile of stones over there? That's our grill. And firewood, well, we don't need that. I see. So, who shall light the fire? I could make my own this time. Very subtle, Sebastian. No need to be subtle about it. Zhang, your fire stunk up the whole area last year, and it made everything taste weird. I didn't notice a difference. Yeah, because everything tastes the same to you, Maverick. I told you, I had the flu. I'm pretty sure you gave us more than just your fire. I think we got some of your spit in there, too. Yeah, because of the flu. Everything was congested, so I had a hard time getting anything out at all. You're not making this any better. Excuses, excuses. I'm just telling you how it is. Besides, it wasn't even my idea to light the fire. You were like, oh, Zhang never lit the fire, he should do it. Don't blame me for getting what you wanted. Yeah, and we learned our lesson. Zhang, not even once. You wouldn't be complaining so much about it if it wasn't for the flu I had. Maybe I should light it again, this time to prove you wrong. No thanks, last year was bad enough. Why don't you do it, Bryce? I'm not sure I'm feeling up for the task. Why doesn't Cabbage do it? I like that idea. Yes, let Cabbage do it. It seems we have a unanimous decision here. Go ahead, Cabbage, show us what you got. Suddenly, they all looked at me, clearly expecting me to light the fire for them. Alright, so us being not dragons, how are we going to answer them? I don't want to disappoint you, but are we going to ask them, I guess, if they have any matches? Or are we going to ask them if this is a joke? Okay, Double wants to say, don't have any matches. Looks like I might have lost a viewer here too. Probably. I'm gonna guess it was Gabriel, but YouTube Studios could be wrong here. Don't suppose you have any matches. They're all being quiet. All quiet. They were all still watching me, not moving or batting an eye, when suddenly, laughter erupted. Ah! Wait, no, text-to-speech.
Self-voicing enabled. Bryce, ha 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 ha. Self-voicing disabled.
Oh, Sebastian is also saying ha 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 ha. I should enable text-to-speech again. Heh, the showing is just heh. Maverick says nothing. Okay guys, I get it. The joke's on me. Should have seen your face. Yeah, it was great. Don't pay any heed to them, they're always like this. Yeah, I noticed. Seriously though, who should light the fire? You really don't want to do it. Yeah, sorry, you really do want to do it, don't you, Seb? Hi, Justin. Yeah, the text-to-speech with Bryce. Ha 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 ha. Is it that obvious? Just go ahead then. We already agreed Zhang is not doing it. Hey, I told you I could prove you wrong this time. Yeah, let's not ruin our barbecue 2 years in a row. Maybe next year then. I don't feel up for it this year, and with Maverick's aim, he probably shouldn't either. I'd rather not risk anything. Maverick's aim? I could hit you any time. Sure, but we just want to have a barbecue, not set the whole beach on fire. Wow. Heh. Yes, angels with scaly armor plates. That would make more sense. That would make more sense for Bryce over there. Sebastian and Zhang on the left don't even have plates. They're just scaly. They're like Argonians, I guess. Scarum Argonians. Besides, Sebastian's fire always makes the food so crisp and smoky. I like that. A vid on Share Factory. I'm not even sure what that is. I will have to take a look at that later. Any objections? Nope. Me neither. Master of Ceremony, would you light the fire, please? It's not an easy job, but someone's gotta do it. Sebastian went up to a small bed of stones that they had prepared. Since his back was turned towards me, I couldn't exactly see what he did, but a few seconds later, a fire started burning among the stones. There we go. Well done, Sebastian. My pleasure. Alright, everyone. Pick your poison. Just to get you up to speed, Cabbage, we've got pretty much everything here you could ask for. Of course, we still have all varieties of meat, but we also have some vegetables and cheese if you're not into that sort of thing. We even got some of the algae stuff we usually bring for Naomi, one of the girls at the department, but she couldn't come tonight. Just help yourself and throw it on the fire. Sebastian always gets some of the veggies with his meat, whereas John goes totally crazy over the cheese stuff. Now that I think about it, maybe it was just the darn cheese that made everything so bad last time. Oh, shut up, or else I'll force feed you some of it. Wow. No thanks, but keep your cheese to yourself, please. Wow. Where was I? Oh, right. I go for the meat personally. As I said, the algae is normally for Naomi. She really likes the stuff, but she's one of the water kind, so that's not a surprise. I tried it myself once. Not really my kind of thing, but feel free to take some if you want to. And then there's Maverick. He just eats whatever he can get his muzzle into. A few years ago, a sandstone managed to hide between some of the slabs of meat he got. He didn't even notice, and he just kept on munching. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, but that was with Bryce's cooking, so I couldn't tell the difference. Tee-hee! Wait, I've got to do text-to-speech again.
Self-voicing enabled. Sebastian, tee-hee. Self-voicing
So
disabled.
Why, you... After all of us had made our selection and put it on the fire, we sat down in a circle around it. Of course, Bryce made sure that Maverick and I were not sitting next to each other. So, Bryce, how's the synth with Emerald going for you? It's weird. I'm not even really doing anything. I just have to follow her around and stand guard in her office. What's worse, I think I found out why she wanted me to do the whole thing in the first place. Oh, do enlighten us. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. Now you definitely have to say it. Alright. The real reason why she wants me to be around her so much is that she totally has the hots for me. Oh, come on. Seriously? You wish. You all know what she's like in public, right? But as soon as it's only us two in the room, she's totally a different person. It's unreal. I mean, I believe that she's different in private, but still. Of course, Bryce, when you make up a story, just going out with a high-ranking politician isn't enough. Obviously, she also can't resist your manly allure. But it's true. I'm not even interested in her. For one, she isn't really my type, and and regardless if it's public or private persona, her personality really sucks. What was that about sucking? Oh, shut up. If no one wants to believe me, I'll just stop before I get into the really bad stuff. I can actually confirm that she does act like a totally different person when she doesn't think she's being watched by the general public. But it seems that we automatically answered that one. Interesting. Sebastian does not look, persuaded. Maverick, of course, saying nothing. Okay, Bryce, why don't you tell us more? What exactly does she like about you? What's not to like about me? We get it, Bryce. Let's just change the subject. It's true, I swear. Then give us some details. What she's like in private. It all started innocently enough, but as I told you, when we were alone, she started to get kinda weird after a while. She wasn't even remotely subtle about it either. Once, even the words cavity search came up. From her, mind you, not me. Oh, come on. I can't even listen to this anymore. And then later, she suddenly like, oh, my back is so stiff. Would you mind giving me a massage? You look like you could give a proper strength, like you have the proper strength to give me a good one, sorry. It's like she's not even trying to hide it, and we can confirm that we gave her a massage as well back in Chapter 2, back with Remy. Which was pretty funny, especially with the text-to-speech. Did you give it to her? Of course not. I told her I'm no good with massages. That's the truth. Who would have thought? Do you really believe him, said? I'm not judging, just listening. Emra wanting you to give her a massage hardly constitutes her having the hots for you, though. I'm not even done yet. Well, I'm done with this. Earlier today, she told me how nice it would be for a child to grow up with 2 leaders for parents. Actually, I don't think even Bryce could have come up with that one on his own. I'm not buying it. Hey, at least you believe me, right, Cabbage? Alright, so now, YouTube. Do we believe Bryce? Do we not believe Bryce? Or are we just gonna abstain and not take sides? Okay, Bryce says, Bryce. Doppel says yes, so he does believe Bryce. I do too, because we know Emra. Alright, I guess we're gonna hit I do. Suddenly I feel like I'm in a marriage state. I do. I can totally picture Emra acting like that. See, I told you. If Cabbage believes it, it must be true. Anything on the internet, you can't lie. Maverick, can't argue with that logic. Wow, okay. Can't lie on the internet. Can't lie if it comes from a human. Maybe it's just the alcohol talking. I didn't even have anything yet. Sure, but with as much as you drink, your blood is at least like 10% beer by now. I bet you can't even get completely sober anymore. Anyway, what do you think I should do about her? Nothing, because you made up the whole thing in the first place. If I don't do anything, I'll probably end up having to marry her or something. At that point, your story would actually be credible. Why don't you just tell her to stop? It's not that easy. Considering our positions, even though I'm the chief, there's nothing I can do to prevent her from pulling me off the case and making me into her personal bodyguard. If I tell her off too strongly, she could totally make my professional life a nightmare. And she totally would. I see. So this is a situation that requires careful deliberation and subtlety. Not exactly your strong suits, Bryce. That's why I'm asking you a lot. Not that you're much better, though. Hello, Gabriel. Not much has happened. We've been basically just talking about us not having any fire, ha 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 ha, text-to-speech. Talking about Zhong having had the flu, who's gonna light the fire, reels. And then Bryce has been talking about how Emra has a completely different persona in private and totally has the hots for Bryce. And Sebastian is kind of abstaining from believing it. He just wants to listen to all the gossip. Zhong is just outright, I'm not listening, this isn't real, I'm not listening. Bryce is otherwise asking us how is he going to handle the situation, because we believe him. We believe how Emra has a totally different persona and is interested in Bryce. So that's just what he's at right now. Maybe you should play along for a while. Just see what happens, and then once the time is right, you strike. And strike refers to what exactly? I'm not going to indulge her in any way, shape, or form. Ugh, this is the kind of situation that's going to cause a huge uproar if I include it in my memoir. Who's going to read your memoir anyways? Well, I know at least one person. Cabbage, what do you think I should do? Alright, so, what should Bryce do about Emra? Should he play along and see what happens, and then strike when the time is right? Should he tell her how he really feels? Because only true love. Or should he go on a date with her and just... I guess it'll be more playing along. Well, maybe it wouldn't be playing along, maybe it would be to see how she actually is. Right, so Doppel wants to say tell her how he really feels. Fair enough. Raven wants to say play along. And Gabriel also wants to tell her how he really feels. Alright. Are you sure? Well, if you string her along, that would be pretty dishonest, and she might even be more angry when she finds out the truth than if you just told her up front. Good point. That kind of makes me curious, though. How does dating work in this world, considering there are so many sentient species around here? Is dating between different species encouraged? Maybe that's why Emra is so interested. Is there ever any crossbreeding? I agree, Dop, yeah. I'm sure these questions will go over well in this group. Crossbreeding, that's funny. Well, there isn't any crossbreeding. It doesn't work like that. Besides, I thought you were into biology, so shouldn't you already know where the hatchlings come from? You're a completely different life form, and from what I've seen before, so I didn't want to make any assumptions. There are many interspecies couples, though. And what happens if those couples want to have a child? There are plenty of options, though usually it's either adoption or a child where only one of the parents is biologically related. Emra totally wants my children, though. Don't you want to be a father? Heck no, I'm not ready for that. I mean, even know what to do with a hatchling. I'd probably end up breaking its neck accidentally or something. Hi, Justin. What about you, Cabbage? What about me? Are you having the hots for someone here, as Bryce would put it? To be honest, I have no idea how that kind of relationship would be viewed where I come from, since we only have one sentient species. I'm not sure what sort of social norms we developed if that changed. Technically speaking, you dating one of us is no different than Emra dating Sebastian, for example. Hey, I'm not getting between the beautiful thing Emra and Bryce have going on. I mean, it's... I want to say it's Stoffel's Discord, but I think you're basically allowed to just share it anyways, you might as well. The people think between Bryce and Emra? If you ask me, you can do whatever you like as long as you're here. Knock yourself out. Actually, Cabbage has been hanging out with you a lot, Bryce. And for once, Bryce is the one to remain silent. Awkward! So what? Cabbage is a cool person in my book. Do any of you disagree? Not me. No comment. Of course. The one time that Maverick actually says something, it's to say no comment. By the way, I think the food should be ready now. Good catch. Slowly, everyone shuffled towards the fire, which by now had become nothing more than an eerily glowing pile that illuminated the area. One by one, everyone took their hot food from the stone bed and placed it into their provided paper plates and bowls. When it was my turn, I hesitated since I could still feel the heat radiating from the stones. Something the matter? I think this might be too hot for me to handle. Right, no scales. Let me get that for you. Not to mention they breathe fire, I mean, they're resistant to fire. Here you go. Thanks. We resumed our positions in a circle around the glowing stones, and I waited for my meal to cool down while the others started eating. Yep, crisp and smoky. Good job, Sebastian. Don't mention it. Really, it's good. I'm still not sure how you can eat that cheese stuff, Jean. Are you going to make fun of my food choices again? To be fair, we make fun of everyone and everything here. I don't mind the cheese. You wouldn't mind eating the whole bed of stones and everything on it as well. At least I try something different every once in a while. I do too. I think there are at least 5 different kinds of meat this time around. I didn't say impervious, I said resistant. But you were right there, Raven. Case in point. The food remaining on the stones slowly disappeared as everyone got their additional helpings. Soon, even the last piece was gone, and silence started to set in, and the banter slowly died down. I think it's time for me to leave. What? Already? Hey, the babysitter can only stay for so long. Oh well. Yeah, I should probably be heading off. You know, I'm starting early tomorrow. Well, I guess we all got what we came for. What about you, Maverick? Looks like this party is over anyways. Don't you all get lost in the dark then? Of course. And until next year. Thanks for inviting me, Bryce. I suppose I should be heading off as well. Oh no, you don't. What are you talking about? Well, they all live in the vicinity, but your apartment is on the other side of town. I'm not letting you go home alone at this hour. Reza has always operated during the night, and he may just be waiting for an opportunity like this. What do you want me to do then? You can sleep over at my place, if you insist. Darn, now everyone left without cleaning up. At least you're still here to help me. Of course. We started to clean up together, but with the amount of trash left by 5 people, it was clear it was going to take a while. Hey, do you want to know where I got these scars? I bet you're curious. Now, he did kind of lecture us earlier about lying to him when we were saying that his model ship was nice. So, I could just imagine asking, what scars? I never even noticed, as either being lying to him again, or being completely oblivious. We could tell him, sure, if he's not uncomfortable with telling us, or go right ahead. Dopp wants to say, not if you're uncomfortable. Gabriel also wants to say, not if you're uncomfortable. Okay, anyone else? Pretty sure... okay, so... Not if you're uncomfortable. It's no trouble. Gotta pass the time somehow. At least it makes me look extra intimidating at my job. No one's going to mess with a big, rugged chief of police. You would probably think I got them from some crazy near-death case, but that's only true for one of them. And I would imagine that relates to back with the second date with Anna, exactly how the scars on the neck from Maverick's brother Miles. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he's talking about, the near-death one. The other was a completely different story. Back when I was a kid, some of my friends and I used to play outside and go adventuring together. So, D&D, real life. We could go anywhere as long as it was close enough to town. Woods, mountains, beaches, we loved to explore every one of them. We got fairly familiar with our surroundings. Then one day we heard from someone that there was a system of caves nearby. Caves! It was something completely new to us. Of course, we went there as soon as we could. We were all very excited. It wasn't a big cave system, not big enough to get lost in, but we still had so much fun that day. So much, in fact, that I wanted to go back there right away the next day. I called up a few friends, but they had a longer school day than I did. Instead of waiting for them, I decided to go alone. Turns out going to explore on my own was a little less exciting than doing so with friends. But I still had a pretty good time, and just walking through the entire underground system was quite an experience. Plus, since I was alone, I could take the time to explore every last nook and cranny that I wanted to. Maybe that was my mistake. When I was in one of the remote corners, the ground suddenly gave away and I fell about 5 meters into the cave below. Luckily, I didn't get any serious injuries from the fall, but as I looked up for another exit, an ominous realization set in. The cave had no entry or exit except the one I came in. There were a few holes, but I could never fit through any of them or make them bigger in any way. Even if I could, I didn't know where they'd lead. In the end, I had to try to find my way out on my own. But as you can imagine, I wasn't exactly the best climber in town. Even so, I was still about halfway before I lost my grip and fell down again, cutting my muzzle on the edge of a rock in the process. It bled pretty bad, but at least I knew to put pressure on the wound. I couldn't try to climb out again, however, so I waited. Poor Bryce. Aside from Adine, that's like the only other sad eyes picture. It took several hours for anyone to even notice that I was missing. I must have been there for about 4 or 5 hours, all alone, before I heard footsteps above and a search party found me. Long story short, it turned out that besides the cave system we knew about, there was a much larger one right underneath. Those caves can only be entered with a guide now. And I got this lovely reminder of the experience on my muzzle. I had plenty of time to think while I was down there, and later in life, I often returned to that experience. At first, it made me want to get stronger, but I realized that strength alone wouldn't have saved me. Our kind will probably never be able to climb much at all, but I can at least try to better myself. I guess the whole experience also kinda explains why I'm building those stupid wooden models now. Feeling so helpless while I waited down there, it also made me realize I wanted to help others. Having been saved by the police sure did make me want to follow the same path. Turns out, I was good enough to even become chief. Guess that's all the trash. Thanks for helping. I suppose I'll have to tell you about the second scar some other time. Let's get back now, shall we? And just a comment, Brace, you don't need to tell us about that. Sure. Looks like it's already later than I thought. We better head to sleep soon. You can take the couch, and I'll just sleep on the floor or something. Don't you have a bed? Oh, this is just a temporary arrangement. I wanted to be closer to work, and the new apartment wasn't quite ready yet, so I have to stay here a while. I see. With all this armor, I'll barely feel anything, so it doesn't matter where I sleep. Alright, are we going to thank Bryce and just hog the couch, or are we going to say there's no need for you to sleep on the floor? Raven wants to hog the couch? Alright. Dop wants to not hog the couch. Okay, no need to sleep on the floor. I believe that would be the majority. Poor Justin, sorry about that. What do you mean? Alright, so Doppel already did answer, so the couch is big enough for the both of us. Okay, so Raven changed his answer to 1, but everyone wanted that anyways. So, again, we have the choice. Doppel wants to say the couch is big enough for the both of us. Okay, Raven also wants to say that, because the alternative is that we'll sleep on the floor. Go with the couch? Okay, so everyone wants the couch. Alright. It is, but I didn't know if you... Well, if you say so. Bryce blush for Justin. There's your bed, Your Highness. That's almost like teasing Justin. Sorry, Justin. I'll take care of the light. There we go. Are you even going to sleep in those clothes of yours? It looks kind of uncomfortable. We usually have a separate set of clothing to wear during the night, or we just take off a few layers. I see. Well, it's not like I could take a layer off, except this little blanket here. Heh. Is it okay for you if I sleep like this? Yeah. Well, good night then. Good night, Bryce. Alright, so that'd be our Bryce Chapter 3. Now, we could go out with someone else. I believe that the only other reference that we could possibly get is... I believe if we go out with Lorem twice, he makes a reference to a prank in Bryce's office, which we did actually do. We could meet with Katsuharu, which does have a Bryce moment. Lots of Bryce blushes. Let's see the time. Lorem? Alright. We'll be able to get another Lorem in the next chapter. Yeah, because this is chapter 3. So we'll be able to get basically that. That's just a vague reference to Bryce. Oh yeah, there's also a Bryce reference in his first chapter as well. Alright. Good choice, Doppel. I went to the bar Lorem had suggested as our meeting place. Yeah. I saw Bryce sitting at a table talking to someone. I couldn't see. I lingered on him for a second, but soon spotted Lorem in the corner of my eye. There you are. Hey, Lorem. So it turns out that we've seen this before. And... should we hard skip real fast, or just not skip? Yeah, I think Lorem is my absolute favorite in this game as well. So I'm gonna guess, Lorem, you do not want to skip. Okay, Raven does not want to skip either. And I almost said yes anyways. As you wish. It's good to see you. I thought you might not show up. Are we late? We'll vaguely skip through this. I guess that was Justin's video that went up. My favorite dragon is probably Lorem here. Myself. I'm not gonna ask questions, I'm gonna more or less breeze through this one. Am I late? Not at all, I got here early. I'm kinda surprised you wanted to meet me here. Don't take this the wrong way, but are you even old enough to drink? What are you talking about? Oh, I see. I can assure you that I am a fully grown adult. My species doesn't get much bigger than this. Speaking of which, are you fully grown yet? How big do humans usually get, and how do you stack up, comparatively speaking? Oh, and would you mind if I took some notes? Before we get to that, you haven't told me yet what exactly this is all for. Are you sure you're not a reporter? Spiral forever, yeah. If I was, Sebastian wouldn't have let me meet you in the first place. And I thought the uniform was just a clever disguise. It's real though. Sebastian knows I work for the local post office. Excuse me, but this doesn't really tell me much of anything why I'm here. You're a postman who wants to interview me for what exactly? Sorry, I guess I got ahead of myself. Maybe a full introduction is order, and after that you can still decide if you want to go through with this or not. Sure, go ahead. I recently graduated college with a degree in computing and moved in here with a good friend of mine. This town doesn't exactly offer the best opportunities to put my degrees to good use, though. Then why move here in the first place? Living in the city can be very expensive. I can always move later when I get a job there. I've got other plans right now, though. I'm working on a video game. Wait. Sounds interesting. Exactly. Video games and computers are just starting to catch on in places like this town. Making good content will be very important to have good first impression. And humans have always been part of our medias. Books, movies, and now games. With you on our side, this could be an amazing opportunity. Well... Oh, and there's a lorem brush. Justin. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all. Why? I don't know. You don't seem so thrilled about this anymore. Besides, your job must be really stressful, and you're probably already in the spotlight all the time. And now to top it all off, you get some postman harassing you for an interview. If you wanted to leave, I'd get that. Well, I'm already here and have nothing else to do, so let's make the most of this. Yes! Thank you! At least I won't have to be so careful now. With a reporter, I'd have to worry about things being misinterpreted or being taken out of context. You should still be careful. What you tell me will influence how your entire species is represented in my game. Don't worry though, I'll treat this delicate matter with the required finesse. Okay. How should we do this? Let me think. Why do you want to make this game in the first place? I've always wanted to make a video game. I've had this idea for a while, and it seemed now is the right time to do it. It's almost as if you arrived at the perfect moment. I don't know. How do you think my visit will overshadow your don't you think my visit will overshadow your efforts? People may not be so interested in playing video games about humans anymore if a real one had showed up. Good point, but the vast majority won't get to meet you. Personally anyways. And if I did, a model of the humans in the game, after people like you, will flock to a similar experience. As long as it's based on the truth, awesome. Okay, well why focus on humans? What makes this so important? If there's one thing that people here love, it's humans. It doesn't matter if they just see them in the media or believe them as mythical creatures. For me, humans were always real. I just didn't know whether I'd get a chance to meet one myself. I guess I can cross that off my bucket list. Now that you're here, I can tell you that no expense will be spared to make our portrayal of humans as accurately as possible. What was his name? Dr. Hammond? I want to say General Hammond, but the guy from Jurassic Park. Spared no expense. Spared no expense. Spared no expense. I'm with you on this? Definitely with you. For good reason. I just love humans. If you say it like that, it actually ends up sounding pretty weird. Besides, what if it turns out... If I turn out to be a horrible person, what would you think about humans then? It wouldn't change anything, just because I wouldn't base my opinions of an entire species on the interactions of a single individual. Then what is your current opinion of us based on? Just the myths that we have on the previous portrayal of humans in our media. But I suppose that's why I'm here talking with you right now. I want the truth, and all of it. Telling you all of it might not be such a good idea. Oh yeah, I guess it would take a lot more time than we have today. Anyways, what's the game actually about? What do you do? It's a community simulation game. It all starts with a player character moving into a procedurally generated community, which is inhabited by all kinds of mythical creatures, humans included. Mythical creatures like humans. Not only are towns you move into unique, but the inhabitants are too. There are a variety of traits that get randomized both in looks and personality. There are many things you can do, but it's very open-ended, and you can live your life there however you want to. Sounds like my kind of game. Does that sound like your kind of game? I'm curious. Oh really? I wouldn't ask for a better compliment than that. What other mythical creatures are there besides humans? I haven't worked that out yet, but humans alone give us a lot of material to work with. How so? The question about mythical humans can be tackled in a variety of ways. There are many different interpretations of what humans are like. For example, in general, the mythical human can be divided into 3 categories. Firstly, the human is a physical creature. Secondly, the human is a non-physical entity. And thirdly, the human is a spiritual entity. You prefer hack and slash? Fair enough. I guess it's kind of hard for me to tell what kind of games I like. I like adventure, open world, basically story-rich content. And otherwise I like strategy or simulation. Depends on the simulation for me. I don't like 4X, but RimWorld, I really enjoyed that game. I also really like Angels with Scaly Wings because it is very well done with a very rich story. Tie between Bryce and Nadine, fair enough. They're all good characters. I like them all. Let's start with the physical aspects. Sure, since one of our myths tells us that humans who created us eventually turned into dragons, there's lots of room for interpretation as to how similar humans actually are to dragons. Main type of game is shooter. Oh, okay, so... I'm the only one who really likes simulation games in this regards then, it seems. I guess it would be easier for me to just flat out say that I don't really like shooters or sports games. I kinda don't like racing games. They're basically my 3rd least favorite, I guess. Still higher than 4X strategy though. I can see that you don't have wings, but most of us are able to create fire in some way, or at least have a breath weapon. How about you? Fair enough, Doppel. I would like to say I'd like high skill kinds of games, but I'm getting slow in my old age. 27 years old does that to you. I think it was 27. 27? Something like that. Move things with my mind. Oh man, I'm tempted. I really want to see what this says. Really? That's amazing! I was just kidding. You shouldn't. Ah, poor Lauren. I was curious. Alright. It's a bit strange though, because our myths also say that you gave us the ability to us. Gave that ability to us. Interesting. Maybe it's meant to be taken literally, meaning that the ability was given to us, you lost it. Or maybe we never had it in the first place. Humans are known to have created a lot of things out of nothing. After all, we only needed to discover how to create and use fire, because we didn't have the natural ability to do so. We have a proverb that sums it up pretty well. What is it? Necessity is the mother of invention. So a lack of natural abilities drove innovation forward. What an interesting thought. Here's another thing. You may have different images of humans, but in the end, only one can be right. It's also possible that you have been led to believe what you have been led to believe about humans doesn't actually refer to us at all. Are you implying that you aren't human? No, I'm just saying that if you really had been in contact with humans before, as your myth implies, they would need to belong to the same species as me, and thus be very similar to myself. If they aren't, then they either weren't humans at all, or have a very different origin. A savage, antagonizing mechanic? Are you talking about angels with scaly wings here, Justin? So you say there's a possibility that our humans and your humans may be something different altogether? I understand exactly what you mean, Doppel. When I get used to a video game and I'm just playing it endlessly, I would have to say Heroes of the Storm for my example. Just that you have more and more practice, the better you are at the game, regardless of your ability to react quickly. In fact, it even comes into the StarCraft scene, a real-time strategy game, it is very, very little in regards to actually having your reaction time, and more of knowing what to do and reacting with what you're doing. That being said though, I'm not good at either, so I'm still pretty poor at StarCraft, but Heroes of the Storm. Apparently my quick match rating actually got me into Platinum grade according to Hot Slogs. I suppose that you're right in that our image of humans are very inconsistent. They certainly can't all be humans in the way that we would refer to a single species. The name would probably be reserved for yours. And we haven't even touched the other two categories of humans. What did you call them again? Non-physical human entities and spiritual humans. Starting to walk and run like the character likes it? Okay. What's the difference? Honestly, the definition gets a bit muddled here. Going by the conventional belief, a ghost could be a human who has died and thus changed into a different form. We would call this a spiritual human. An angel, on the other hand, would be classified as a non-physical entity. What do you know about angels? Angels basically look like humans with wings. Their existence in ancient scripture was used to lend us some credence to the theory about humans having become dragons. Because of the wings? Exactly. But some of your dragons species don't have wings either. Alright, see you, Doll. I find that interesting that you just have your stream capable on radio. That's pretty cool, Doll. Some of the dragons don't have wings either. Yes, as I said, once you start delving into that kind of stuff, it all becomes very complicated. When we met, you also told me something about a four-headed human. Great. With that, we get into the realm of creatures that just don't make much sense at all. I would have to say no, but that depends on your perspective and theology, Gabriel. Ah, that's how you're doing it, alright. Just in regards to Gabriel though, I personally believe angels and ghosts are not the same thing at all. That might not really matter if we were talking about non-physical entities or a spiritual being though. So in the end you have a lot of different ideas whose only connection to each other is that the word human you use the word human to describe them in some way. And they share at least some basic characteristics. You fit those as well, by the way. What are they? You're certainly not a reptile like us, but you don't have the conventional mammal. You don't look like a conventional mammal either. We are mammals, so. Yes, but you're so different from other mammals we know that ultimately you're just quite unique. We don't have any other sentient mammals. You've got a point there, I'll give you that. Strangely enough, we have plenty of human-like creatures in our mythologies as well. Oh, do tell! I already mentioned ghosts, but some other ones include dwarves, giants, fairies, and blemmies. I think I've heard of most of these before, but what is a blemmie? Essentially, a blemmie is a human without a head. A human without a head? How does that work? How do they eat? Instead of a head, they just have all their facial features on their chest. That's a rather weird mental image. There's also a lot of half-creatures that share the same characteristics with humans and other animals. Like mer-humans? Sure. Lastly, there are creatures that are said to be able to shapeshift into human form. Strangely enough, some of our dragon myths are said they could shapeshift into humans, or that certain countries' royalties are descended from dragons. That would imply that they are genetically compatible with humans. Heh, sounds gross! Sounds rather outlandish to me if you ask me. We certainly can't shapeshift like that. I feel like teasing Lore. Are you sure? To be fair, I never tried. Hang on. Did it work? Nope, still a dragon. Aww, and that poor sad face on Lore. Anyway, how come you know so much about myths? All part of being an ambassador. Not only did I learn about dragon myths in order to compare them to what you like, but I also studied myths about creatures that are similar to humans, so I could find out how similar they are to yours. The game in this game came from? Are you talking about Yorm's game? Or are you talking about D&D where the dragons can polymorph into humans? And that being said, I should actually take a look at the bestiary as well later to see if the dragons are still capable of that Pathfinder. Well, you're doing an excellent job so far, and it's bound to help me with a lot of my game as well. You're going to put all that into the game? Let's just say it gives me excellent material to work with. I thought you wanted to give an accurate portrayal of humans, not just a collection of myths. One species will certainly be modeled after you, but that doesn't mean we can't introduce some variety of others as well. People will love it, if we also bring in some of the more unusual myths to life. I see. So I'm curious, Gabriel, what's this, the game in the game that you're referring to? But since we also want each of the normal human characters to be unique, I'd like to know how much variety there is really within your species. I've seen Reza before, so comparing him to you already gives me a bit of an idea, but how far do these differences go exactly? When we arrived here, you asked me if I was old enough to drink. That leads me to believe that your average human height must be a lot taller. That's true. You could say that Reza would be about average for an adult. Note that it would be impossible to get a good not that it would be impossible to get a good deal bigger than him or even smaller than you. But those cases are rather rare, and usually a result of medical conditions. I see, I see. What about colors? Are there any humans who are blue like me? Not really, but a certain spectrum of skin color. They can get lighter or darker, but so far I've seen a lot more variety of dragons here. We do have quite a number of different eye colors though. Interesting. As for things that aren't immediately visible, we also have different blood types, but I assume you know about that. We certainly have those as well. Some people even believe your blood type can influence your personality. That, on the other hand, is news to me. Anything else you want to know? Phew, we've already got so much. I'll have to think about it, and if and how we can work this into the game. Have you worked on any other games before? I worked on a few small projects during my course of my studies and also interned at a studio before. This is on a completely different level though. How so? It's my game, so I'm the one calling the shots here. It's a very different thing than just making a few graphics when you're part of a bigger team for sure. I see. How long exactly have you been working on this before? Phew, must be several months now. I've got everything planned out, and a lot of groundwork has already been done. The most difficult things are the characters themselves, and to make sure all of the details are accurate. Of course. Have you shown the game to other people yet? Sure, feedback is a very important part of the development process, so I regularly gather ideas and opinions from others. I even made a website to do that. What did they say? All kinds of things, really. Sometimes it's hard to decide which ones are good, have good points, and which ones can be discarded. Overall, it seems that there are many people who are looking forward to playing my game though. How many are we talking about? I don't know exactly. The counter on my website only tracks the number of visits, so I don't know how many different people there are. What if it doesn't work out? What do you mean? Well, you're investing a certain amount of time and money into making this game. Ideally, you would make back an investment and hopefully get some profit on top of that. If the goal is to make money, sure. However, I just want to try my hand at doing something like this. If some people are going to enjoy the end result, that's great. Don't forget that I also have made something that I can put on my resume. At the very least, I'll have a good learning experience. With that attitude, I suppose you really don't have anything to lose. And you can always look for another job. And maybe I'll end up working at a game studio. But I think once I start doing something like that, I might not get this opportunity again. So it's now or never, huh? In a nutshell, yes. And that all works out with your career job? Sure, I can support myself this way and I'm not really under any pressure, since I don't have any deadlines to keep. Deadlines are a good way to ensure you get things done though. You're right about that. It's something where balance is important. I think I set deadlines for myself, but I don't have to worry about the project breaking down if I don't meet certain milestones at the same time. At a certain time, sorry. And that's basically me, deadlines would be a good way to get things done. I don't personally set deadlines for myself, so I never get my projects done. But at the same time, nothing would break down if you don't meet the deadline. That being said, the opening 30 minutes music and slideshow I did myself in GameMaker Studio, roughly in a day or two. Not the best, and I meant to have YouTube implementations, but failed to get that yet. I'm pretty sure I absolutely could do that, but I just haven't. So, what kind of tools are you using to make it? If I consider what some of your species look like, I'm having a hard time imagining how bigger ones could program a game. While we do have devices tailored to each individual species, I can't deny that my dexterous hands makes it a lot easier compared to some of the other species. One downside is that I have to keep my nails short, or else using the keyboard gets a bit cumbersome. I imagine you'd have to be careful with those while working as a courier anyway. You're right about that. One wrong move and you suddenly shredded the letter you're going to hand to someone. You should be more careful. No, that sounds unpleasant. Luckily, that kind of thing doesn't really happen to me anymore. Not only because of the shorter nails, but once you've worked there for a while, you just learn to be more careful. It's a bit sad not to have some of the natural letter opener anymore, though. And it's not just me. Some people ask me to open their letters for them, since doing that on their own can be difficult for some of the less dexterous and older ones. Have you been working as a courier long? I just got this job a few months ago, but I did a part-time summer job at the post office when I was growing up. My species is perfectly suited to the job, so they were glad to have me on board. I guess we can see why. Of course, being able to fly is a big plus. My size means I can't deliver any big packages, but I often get assigned to urgent letters that have to be delivered as soon as possible. Huh, it's getting late. Maybe you should leave it at that for today. Yeah, I should probably head back to my apartment before it gets too dark. I got more than enough material to work with. Thanks a lot. Don't worry about it. I'll consider it a public service. Honestly, I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity, especially after nearly getting denied by Sebastian when I met you. Just make the best of it. I certainly will. I really have to get going now, so maybe I'll see you some other time. Sure. Have a good night. Take care. Loss. Superstition. I woke with my eyes fixed on the ceiling wallpaper. A sense of dread lingered from a nightmare I no longer remembered. How many more times would I see this apartment before I returned to my own world? Or before something happened to me? I got ready for the day and tried to shake off those thoughts. Hey, Cabbage. And right on the minute. They show up at this time every day like clockwork. Clocks are reliable, and reliable is good in this line of work. Hang on. Sorry about that. I think you can guess why I'm here. Is it Reza again? What happened this time? The chief will explain everything once we get there. Let's not keep him waiting, shall we? Alright, so I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. Not too much that we're gonna be missing here. Just that this is the hatchery where Dean's working. She wasn't hurt. But the eggs were stolen, and I think it was just an injury, might have been a murder. And we end up taking this investigation back to the office. Maverick shows up. There he is. He thinks he found Reza. So they've agreed that those three are going to go to the farmhouse to investigate, see if anything's there. Just spying for now. And they're going to phone me if anything shows up. And they're saying, as a last minute resource, they're going to use me, last possible effort. If all things are going bad, then they'll use me as a resource because they want to resolve things peacefully if possible, but they don't want to offend me because me as an ally is more of a benefit than me as not an ally. So, that's just what's going on. They're about to leave. I don't think Maverick is actually going, now that I mention it. He just thinks they know where they are, he's still on sick leave. And so there they are. Cabbage, wait here for further instructions. Okay, let us... Alright then, let's go. After you, Chief. And Maverick, good job. Thanks, Chief. Now here, if you want the good ending, this is the crucial trigger. Shortly after they vanish, Maverick also turns blue. Tell Maverick to wait, because we have the blood samples. Wait! He stopped and waited for a few seconds. What do you want from me? Do you have something against humans in general, or is it just Reza and me? Do you think that you are superior to us because of your wings and teeth and claws, your fire? Or is it just jealousy or projected hate? I know the first day I met you, you were all hung up on people paying attention to us because we're humans. I can assure you that there's nothing about us to be jealous about. Our world is a wasteland. You closed the door before you turned back around to face me. You're really playing the innocent role, aren't you? Now you're offering yourself as a bargaining chip for Reza. At this rate, I might even start believing you if I didn't have reason not to. If I were with Reza, it wouldn't be much easier for me to pull a gun on you too. Today you were shot, but I didn't even bring one when I came through the portal. Plausible deniability, or as we like to say, good cop, bad cop. If Reza's plans fails, you and the rest of humanity can disavow Reza's actions, as with your own, and still go through with the trade agreement. As agreed, sorry. And Reza would be dealt with however. Yet, if Reza's plans succeeds, you'll be given us nothing, and we still gain, you will have given us nothing and still gained what you wanted. If Reza got away, you'd still have me though. If your world is a wasteland, don't you think losing you as a price they would gladly pay? Maverick's words made me think. Did I really have the complete picture before I stepped through the portal? I guess that would explain why I got the job in the first place. Besides, Reza only stole the thing humanity wants, so he's clearly not doing this for himself. His actions only started after the confrontation with you, though. Maybe none of this was planned. Don't be stupid. Don't you think I've forgotten about the secret message that he sent you? I still don't know what he would have told me that day if you hadn't interrupted us. Maybe he wanted to discuss his plans with you. Only after I found out about the secret message he sent you did I realize that all the messages sent back and forth between the portals could have been similar, even before your arrival. When the police searched Reza's apartment, of course, none of these old letters could be found. These do not have any secret messages. Sorry, those of course do not have any secret messages. Is that so? None that I knew of, at least. When he sent me the direct messages, I initially had no idea how to read it. But you knew that it was a secret message? Yes. But that's not true for the messengers he sent before you came through the portal. I don't think so. Maybe those messages weren't intended for you then. We're not that different, you know. What are you talking about? I reached into my pocket. I still have that? I don't know how long it's been. I pulled out the wrinkled piece of paper and showed it to him. According to these test results, humans and dragons show remarkable similarities for different species from different evolutionary lines and completely different worlds. Why do you think I care about that? It wouldn't make a darn difference to me if other dragons came through the portal instead of humans. I was the only one who followed Reza and knew something was off, but all my concerns were swept away in the wind. It was never about you being human. It's about my people not hearing my pleas, and the leniency they are willing to show you, all in the same fostering this diplomatic relationship. But you two came in here and strutted around like you owned the place, as you tore my home apart. The blood of those who died on the hands of everyone who allowed this to happen. If they had listened to me in the first place, maybe I'd have caught Reza that day. I was wounded, and things would be very different right now. I agree. Then why do you blame me for suspecting you? All this time I've been helping the police. So have I. Maybe they'll finally catch Reza and we'll see how this all turns out. Wait a minute. You had Anna perform these tests for you? It was more the other way around. She was the one who wanted to study my blood. Suddenly, I'm not very surprised that you had these tests done. She can be ruthless when she wants something. What did she get? What did she do to get your blood? She asked nicely for it. She asked nicely. I'm gonna enable text-to-speech here real quick.
Self-voicing enabled. Maverick.
It doesn't even say ...
Maverick. Maverick. Ha 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 ha. Self-voicing disabled.
That look on Maverick's face too, that's great. She asked nicely? Nothing else in the world right now could be worth more than samples of your blood, and you just gave them to her. You know what? Maybe I was wrong. Even if humanity and Rezi, new nickname, Rezi, have cooked up some crazy plans, and even if they are willing to sacrifice either of you for their own gain, maybe you really have nothing to do with it. Maybe you're just clueless. It doesn't really matter though, although you have nothing to gain from me if I change my opinion of you. Yes, we have not done this before, so this is absolutely new dialogue that, if you have not played the game before, you have absolutely not seen this reaction yet. To me, proof is the only thing that really matters, so my feelings on this issue are not important. If you work with the police long enough, you just learn to take things as they are. Maybe with you, I'll have to admit that I was wrong. This is the scariest scene to you? Huh. Yeah, I guess, in regards to scary scenes, it'll be this, when Maverick came to us back in Tatsu Park scene, the second investigation. And, when there were the gunshots at night and we have to decide to go to the portal or stay at night, stay there. I guess that part technically shouldn't count as one of the scary scenes, because we know Reza is not going to really shoot us. But that'll be my three, these are scary scenes. Yeah, exactly. So this happened in two scenes, is Maverick here in the office, and Maverick also being at us in Tatsu Park, talking to no one but us. Combined with the music and everything, it's really atmospheric, and yeah, ooh boy, this dragon don't like me. Similar to the Brace's us being guests of honor to the dragon barbecue. Suspicious. Except not comically, oops, didn't mean to be suspicious. But I won't ever stop looking for those who are responsible for this, and if I find them, I will show no mercy. Then I had to wait for Bryce and Sebastian were observing the farm, and if anything new happened, I would be the first to know. I'm curious now, actually. Status. How are we doing? Bryce is impressed. Anna and Lorm are good. Interesting. Alright. So we have Bryce impressed a third time in a row. And we're just gonna skip ahead a little bit because we've seen this now. Let me go in first, Chief. Wait, what? Okay, so he actually wants to go in first. That's a little bit surprising, and let me go in first. Why? Maybe I can talk to him and we can figure things out. I'm surprised. This is actually new dialogue. He has not trusted us this time. Maybe I can talk to him and we can figure this out. I don't think he wants to kill me, so even if it doesn't work out, Sebastian and you will be able to still be nearby to catch him. We'll be right behind you then, but do be careful. Alright, so I'm actually quite amused here. 3 times impressed Bryce. And he doesn't actually trust us from the investigations. I don't know how we did that. We slowly made our way to the front door. I took a deep breath and tried to prepare myself for the possibility of facing Reza. The tense scenarios and things I could say to him rushed through my head as I pressed down on the door handle. The door inched open with a creak, but I noticed a slight resistance and a strange sound that suddenly made me hesitate. This is also crucial, by the way. You have to go in first if you want the Bryce good ending. If you want any Bryce ending, for that matter, because... Let me just get rid of that menu for a second. You can just see that little red wire there. Means if Bryce went in first, boom. So let's just skip ahead a bit because we've done this before. And I'm going to leave the stream after these 2 choices here. So we can take the bandages to the facility, we can visit the witness, we can take the PDAs to the library, and we can take the eggs to the hatchery. Now in regards to Bryce, none of these actually relate to Bryce himself. But taking the bandages to the facility would be relations to Anna, visiting the witness would be a relation to Lorem. Actually, that reminds me, we probably have no Lorem anymore. Take the PDAs to the library, and take the eggs to the hatchery. How is the status going? Good? Okay, maybe we have a Lorem. I'm actually curious, so I'm gonna go visit the witness. PDAs to the library is Remy, and eggs to the hatchery is Adine, by the way. Actually, eggs to the hatchery is Kevin, Remy, and Adine references. So, visit the witness. I'm just curious. Can I help you? You must be Epsom, is that right? Sure. I'm working with the police and hoped you could answer a few questions. I guess I responded to your call for witnesses about last night, right? Yes. Alright, what do you want to know? Alright, so it seems that we've got, Lorem is good, that's great. Can you tell me what happened? Sure, I was running an experiment in my home laboratory and waiting for its finish. Around 2 AM, I suddenly heard a few bangs outside that reminded me of small explosions. It sounded like they were coming from just around the corner. I see. Did nothing about this seem unusual to you? Not really. I know I've caused a few similar disturbances with my experiments before. If someone also decided to take up home experimentation, they certainly have my approval. Besides, I wasn't in any position to abandon the experiment I was running at the time, or else I could have had a similar outcome. Thank you. I think that'll be all. No problem. That actually has me curious now about if we can still visit Lorem in the next chapter. If you would actually make reference to, oh hey yeah, I already know Ipsum, that's great. Alright, so we have one more choice, and then we're going to have... Yeah, this is chapter 4, so this is going to be our last date with Bryce coming up next week, which means that we would also have the end with Bryce. So, yeah, that's pretty good. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to take the bandages to the facility, PDA to the library, eggs to the hatchery, or just PDA? Alright. So, we're going to be wrapping this up right after taking the eggs to the library, getting back to the date scene, check on Lorem, see if he's still there. Sounds like that he's still there. And then we can just end the stream, go with Bryce next week, wrap up the story, the Bryce story, that is. So just the PDAs, is that everyone's choice? I mean, I guess we're just wrapping up, so might as well. In no way is any of this relevant yet. Oh, and we also have the Remy good ending, so he's guaranteed to be around. I mean, he's already around. Excuse me. Can I help you? Do you know where the audio section is? I'm looking for some sheet music. Sorry, I have no idea. I don't even work here. Ah, don't worry about it. All the staff seem to be hiding somewhere. Anyways, have a good day. You too. Maybe Remy is in the back, or in his office. Hello? You know, this section is usually for staff only. I'm just looking for Remy. I'm supposed to drop off his PDA. Well, he's not working here today. Apparently he has other engagements. If you need to find him, you can probably do so at his home. Can't I just leave the PDAs here? Oh, I'm not going to take responsibility for this if it gets lost. If you want to drop it off, go find him. Okay. By the way, I hope you don't take it personally that I tried to send you away. To be honest, I'm glad you're still here. Remember, I said that I believed you, and you told me your side of the story. I always have to do what's in the public's best interest. And now, they will not blame me if you have any connection with Reza. I hope you can understand that. Here's Remy's address in case you need it. Thank you. Oh, hello, Cabbage. What are you doing here? I just came by to give this to you. I was already at the library, but Emma refused to let me drop it off. I see. Hey, it's one of your PDAs. I told you one would find its way to me eventually. Yep, and now you can look at all the human knowledge you want. You have no idea how much I'm looking forward to that. I may not be working today, but I'm still going to check it out as soon as possible. I'm going to leave you to it then. Thanks. Enjoy. Thanks for all your help. I'll take care of the remaining tasks so you can take the rest of the day off. I'm sure you have other things to do than helping the police department. It's no problem, really. My trip to your world wasn't supposed to be a vacation. Alright then, I'll see you next time. See ya. After this fateful day, I was glad to finally have some sort of respite. I wandered into the kitchen as I considered tonight's dinner. Should I cook something or order out? When I returned from the living room, I suddenly found my strength leaving me, and I collapsed to the floor. The next thing I saw was a blurry stone ceiling. As my eyes slowly returned, I managed to sit up. I was in a cave, and before me stood a familiar, mysterious face. Apologies for the violence, but I can assure you that it was the easiest way. So it turns out we've seen this before. Yes, skip ahead, because this is also fairly lengthy. Seems there's something for me to do this morning. Guess I don't need to be at the police department. Not that I mind. Seems I've got some messages. Let's see what Brace has to say this time. Hey, Cabbage. Want to meet up and go somewhere? Just the two of us? I just want to get out of my crummy temporary apartment. I'm sure we can think of something fun. Is he thinking what I'm thinking? He probably is. And look at that! We can still meet with Lorem. So, we have actually, on top of almost having none of the good endings except for Remy, we have actually saved 3 of the 4 deaths this run. And I'm saying that not because of Remy being the good ending, but because ordering some lunch, we can do nothing to save her yet. Even if we just dedicated both dates right now instead of Bryce to Adine, we could not save Adine. Remy has... Everyone has one bad ending, and everyone has one good ending. We have both endings for Remy, and we have the bad endings for everyone. So, we have bad ending for everyone, we have the good ending for Remy. We're about to get the good ending for Bryce next week. That being said, let me actually even just go back here. It seems we got messages. Let's save right here. On the answering machine, because we've got the impress status answering machine and everything. So, I will even go back to the main menu now for reference. We'll see you guys again next week, and I hope you enjoy. And for reference, the main menu here, the characters here, Zhang and Kevin, are because they're side characters and we still met with them. Same with Sebastian, Katsuharu, and Emira, because they're the side characters. The silhouettes for Anna, Bryce, Adine, that's Anna, and Lorem, are because we have the bad endings completed. You can see the silhouette back there, but Remy is there in color, so we have his good ending. And the gun signifies that we've had the neutral ending, and the blood means that we've had the evil ending. I can't remember if it's the neutral or the evil that we have Reza here, as such. That being said, I suppose Doppel could confirm for me if he has the image for Reza, that he would have the neutral ending. It's from the neutral ending, and if he does not, that would confirm if it's the evil ending. Likewise, you never see that? Okay. You can see all the bad endings from the previous streams that I've done. The 4th episode, I believe it is, because I've done it in neutral, evil, and then I've started doing the bad endings, and I can't remember what order it was. I know that Remy was the last bad ending and the first good ending, though. But just also for your reference, when you get Zhang, Kevin, Sebastian, and everyone like that, you also unlock their portraits here. So you have Sebastian, you have Zhang, Emira, and in regards to Remy, you get his gallery for the good ending. So from what you can see here is there's another 4 slots here, so Bryce, Anna, Adine, and Lorem. And I don't even remember what this one was exactly. I don't even want to spoil it because spoilers. Anyways, that'll be everything for today. Yeah, there's the main menu, as populated as it is. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to come and chat, we have the Discord. It's in the description. Just say something and introduce yourself, and you'll be invited into the server so you can see everyone and everything, and actually chat. If I remember right, anyways. Otherwise, I'll be streaming this again next week, same time. And if anything otherwise happens in the meantime, it'll probably be last minute. I'll be streaming something else like, I don't know, Space Engineers. No, I can't think of anything else just right now, but probably Space Engineers, if that comes up. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you guys again next time.